Earlier today, we talked with Dr. Jeff Bloodworth of Gannon University, garnering his thoughts on this week's incident and looking at it through the lens of American history. Doctor, let's start here. Your initial reaction when you saw what was happening in Tennessee yesterday?
This is the new rule of politics. Can we make it worse? The answer is yes. Always, the ability to make a tense situation even more kind of ugly, that seems to be the rule these days.
No argument that these lawmakers were out of line. You can't bring people protesting into the middle of the state capitol. The negative reaction seems to be, A, expulsion, some say, is too extreme, and then the fact that 2 black members are expelled but a white member stays. Does that concern you?
Well, of course. I mean, you can count on one hand the number of Tennessee legislators that have been expelled in the nearly 200 years of the state's history. So they violated rules of decorum. There are many ways that you can censure them short of expulsion. Lots of arrows in the quiver for that. And then to expel the 2 African-American members and not the 1 white member, I mean, it is what it looks like. I mean, it's a southern state. This is racism.
You're a historian. You're well versed in what our country has gone through and its struggles with racism, especially in the South. Jim Crow type feelings to you?
I'm a native Tennessean. One of the members who was expelled is from my hometown of Memphis. I mean, of course. Ironically, the Tennessee Republican Party had the best tradition of any Republican Party in the South, that it didn't emerge out of Jim Crow and a reaction against the civil rights movement. Once upon a time, the Republican Party in Tennessee was a symbol of moderation and maturity. What we have seen this week in this Republican Party in Tennessee is a far cry from the Republican Party I grew up with in the state.
And finally, I want to ask you this. We could talk about this for half an hour, but from a political perspective, what does this mean? Because yes, that will play well in local politics, but is that sort of GOP going to work on a national scale a year and a half out from a presidential election?
Well, it's going to hurt the Republican brand nationally. I mean, this is going to polarize an electorate even more so. But what's going to happen in Tennessee in the next 5 to 10 years is what happened in North Carolina, what's happening to Georgia. Nashville is growing. Lots of non-Southerners are moving to the state. And the ground is shifting under the Tennessee Republican Party's feet. 5 to 10 years from now, what Tennessee Republicans are going to see is a Tennessee that's going to be moved to purple. And so in parts of the South that are growing and have big cities like Nashville and Charlotte and Atlanta, the ground is shifting. And this kind of politics, short term, it might win you a primary. Long term, it loses you the state.
So much to unpack, and something we'll keep an eye on here in the short term and in the long term too. Doctor, thanks so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.